I think one thing that's very, very certain is COVID moved things along very quickly. I mean, you talk about disruption. We're further ahead in the future in terms of our needs than ever before. And I think what happens at every CIO, every ConnectGov is a sense of that need for filling a gap. And this year, I think the gap is getting broader, if you like. So to speak about filling, or to address the topic of filling the digital transformation skills gap, our next panel is going to share as much as they can on the subject. Your moderator is S. Mahendran, who is the Senior Advisor, CIO Academy Asia. And his panel consists of Shui-Min, Chief Information Technology Officer at National University of Singapore, Luis Cruz Huertas, the SVP of Head of Big Data Infrastructure and Automation at DBS Bank, and John King, Executive Vice President, EMEA SoftServe Inc. Would you please welcome our panel to the stage as they discuss this topic about filling that transformation gap, or filling that skills gap for digital transformation. Would you give them a round of applause, please, as they take their seats? Thank you.
Have fun, yeah, you can sit beside me. John. All right, I think you can hear me. I think it's been an interesting 1.5 days, and I've been given the great pleasure of finishing with the last panel. I was a little worried when Joe came up on stage and somebody said, "Is it lunch?" Because I prepared a speech pre-lunch, so I will have had to throw away the speech if we had lunch first. Now, in the last 1.5 days, we've heard about all the beautiful technology and how we have employed, and we look forward to more technology and how it will accelerate digital transformation and make our lives easier and businesses easier to run. This is what we've been hearing for the last 1.5 days. So now, I stand before you and lunch. It's a hungry place to be. In this final panel, we talk about people, and we need to make this transformation happen. We have all the key ingredients, but where are the chefs? The Michelin star chefs who will make your business tasty and successful. We have a very limited amount of Michelin chefs, and we also only have a limited amount of specialty chefs with the expert skills required in your kitchen. We covered them, we acquire them, and we upskill them, and of course we try to retain them. But do we have enough? And do we create more of such specialty chefs? And in all the new areas where we will need to produce our next culinary masterpiece. Whether your ingredients end up as a simple bread or an exquisite pastry or stupendous cake, rest in the hands of the talents you have in your organization. Food for thought before real food is served. No, we are not talking about an episode of Hell's Kitchen, right? So now what I have is 3 awesome experts who have volunteered to share their respective journeys to talk about this title, which is Filling the Digital Transformation Skills Gap. Now the problem, or if you want to look at it positively, the challenge is the organization is accelerating digital journey, embracing new technology, but they need the skills and capabilities for these initiatives. Now, what can we do? How do we keep pace? How do we address the growing digital shortage, skill shortage, yeah? So we talk about upskilling, we talk about fresh talent, we talk about citizen development, right? So are these enough? And this is what we're going to talk about today. So the panelists we have is Luis, Head of Big Data Infrastructure, and Shui-Min, Chief Information Technology Officer in US, and of course, John, who comes from the vendor partner industry from SoftServe. Now, maybe we start with Shui-Min, right? So Shui-Min, you come from NUS. You have a distinguished history of producing the top skills for companies in Singapore and of course globally as well. And you have very strong partnership with government and industry. And you provide technology skills to drive the economy, the institution. And I'm going to tell you that Shui-Min was also 2021 Singapore 100 Women in Tech list, right? So Shui-Min, tell me, your institution churns out talents to the industry, but NUS itself also needs talents internally to transform the organization, the institution, as well as impart the skills to the students. So how does NUS ensure they get access to the kind of technology and skills that a global leading university requires? What kind of technology skills are in most demand for you to enable this transformation?
Hello. All right, first I would like to thank CIO Academy for inviting me to share about talent and upgrading of skill sets. So talent is a central piece in NUS. It's almost everything that we do. As an education institution, we strive to produce students that are assets and talents for our country, for the rest of the world. And we aim to grow and nurture them to be, to bring out their greatest potentials and talents. And to that proposition, we strive to produce students, that are adaptable and resilient, students that have a strong and broad knowledge base that will be able to integrate multidisciplinary knowledge to create unique, distinctive value. And very importantly, we also aim to produce students that will be digitally ready, that will be able to assess and harness technologies in the future world. So in order to produce and nurture students of those traits, then likewise, for staff, staff would also need, to exhibit the similar traits as well, so that we're able to produce that kind of students. So likewise, the staff of the future, we are expected to be agile and flexible. We are expected to tap on a broad base of knowledge to solve difficult issues. And we are also expected to be digitally ready so that we are able to meet new challenges. We're able to reap new opportunities in a digital world. So that's why in NUS, there's also a lot of emphasis on raising the digital dexterity of our workforce. And we have various initiatives to tackle that. So some of which are very simple ones, but they are actually pretty powerful. So take for example, we will set aside Wednesday afternoons on a weekly basis to do self-learning. So all of us are encouraged not to have any meetings on Wednesday afternoons. We're not supposed to open up our emails. We're supposed to set aside a couple of hours to do self-learning. And self-learning can be in the form of online courses, attending conferences, reading up literature, resources, and self-learning also includes participating in experimental projects that involve new concepts, skills, and technologies. So we value learning so much that, organizational-wide, we have set aside Wednesday afternoons. And in addition to that, NUS has also mandated courses for all non-ACAD staff to attend. So courses such as raising the data literacy of the workforce, courses that will help us to improve our awareness of what AI can do. Hoping that then, as together the workforce will be able to understand data better, will be able to gain insights into the vast amount of data surrounding us and make database decisions. And at the same time, we hope that with AI awareness, then we'll be able to redesign our work in a way that we'll be able to then leverage on the potential of AI. And that's where transformation and disruption will happen. And that, mind you, is actually mandatory courses. So even people like me, I have to attend it as well. And we're all scheduled to attend these courses. And the courses are pretty demanding. There are quizzes involved, tests involved, projects to do, and your attendance and your learning attitude will count towards your performance bonus at the end of the year. So that is how serious the university is in ensuring that all of us as staff, we upgrade our skill sets. So NUS IT, we play a part in this transformation of our staff as well. We offer a digital enablement program from the IT department. We offer a digital enablement program for the rest of our NUS colleagues. So in this program, our aim is to upgrade the skill sets of our colleagues to use digital tools. So today we are offering courses in various digital tools like RPA, data visualization, web publishing, how to create online forms and automation. So lots of these digital tools that we are offering as part and parcel of our digital enablement program. And our unique offering is that we would offer classroom courses for our colleagues to attend, following which our colleagues would have to then complete a 3-month practicum where they're supposed to apply the skill sets that they have learned during the classroom into real-life projects. So only upon completing this 3-month practicum successfully, then they will be considered as having graduated from the course. And then they will be invited to join the corresponding community of practice, where then they will be able to be in part of a community to exchange tips and tricks, experiences, and encourage each other along. So that is the kind of platform that NUS IT offers to the rest of the university staff. So that includes our CAD and non-CAD staff as well. At the same time, we also run 30 minutes webinar sharing sessions on the Learning Wednesday afternoons. And in those sessions, we would share very simple tips, like how to use the advanced features of Excel, or how we talk about cybersecurity awareness, or how to handle sensitive data and all that. And these webinars are hugely successful in the university because it's just 30 minutes and it's on Learning Wednesdays afternoon. And we have, it's very popular, and we have hundreds of our colleagues attending these webinars on a regular basis. So the university has a plethora of courses, and it's an environment that it's very learning conscious. But in addition to that, specifically for NUS IT, there's even a greater emphasis on learning, because as IT professionals, as technology professionals, we are aware that we would have to keep up with technology.
So, yeah. You're going on to the skill gaps, right?
Yeah.
Why don't you just hold on, and then I will come back to you on that. On the second part of the question, no problem.
Yeah, okay.
So, Louise, you're from a bank, commercial entity, world's best digital bank. And you use a lot of cloud technologies and big data technologies, right? So how did DBS get there? How was the journey like? How did they succeed in getting the skills to be a leader in the banking area, the digital banking area? And how are you able to deliver large-scale digital transformation projects with your team? And how do you supplement your team expertise?
Right. So It's actually a good question. And I would start by saying that the most important transformation DBS did is to challenge the status quo that a technical professional that works in banking needs to have banking knowledge. And that's when we start breaking barriers and bringing technical resources from diversity of expertise and industries, because they had the technology knowledge that will allow us to take our designs and our technologies to the next step. So by challenging that, we actually are able to open our market to a more robust amount of skills that are available. We keep pushing extremely hard with different sorts of affiliations that we have, internships, programs with likes of NUS, that we actually invest a lot of our time from our leaders to shape new skills and nurture new professionals. And most of the time we do have a pretty good loyalty return where they would like to stay and remain working with us, to believe in the cause. And at the same time, we're very aggressively and very passionate at pursuing the strengths of the different individuals. We recognize that most of the technologies we're using, because they're almost an in-between, we're very open source. There's no really way for us to formalize a certification track or roadmap for any of that.
Right.
So we need to rely on multiple different events like hackathons that we do, like Hack to Hire, evaluate coders in near real time and such, and and then evaluating a blend of their skills, which is actually has worked really well for me, and for DBS in general, right? When you put 8 strangers on a table and they've never seen each other and they have to execute a project in 8 to 12 hours, right? That shows you a lot of their soft skills, communication, leadership, ability to code, etc. And then you can start leveraging on that. But then we also have a skills gap that it's hard to solve, which is high niche, high specific skills that are extremely hard to obtain when you're looking for thought leadership.
Okay.
Right? And so ultimately what we do is we leverage with strategic partners.
Okay.
That can provide that additional arm and extension of our core business to obtain some of the core niche specific skills. And then we can actually put, some other players within our team that are growing up to learn from these niche specific resources that we get from our partners.
Right. So that's perfect. I mean, we have an institution who churns out talent, and we also have a commercial entity who actually needs the talent and grabs the talent. The problem is everyone's running digital transformation project. Everyone is accelerating it. But are there enough of this expertise available for these people, for the organization? And that's where people like John from SoftServe comes in. How do you supplement and support and help these digital transformation projects that are happening within this organization?
Thank you, and just to thank you very much for having me. It's great to be here. My picture and my title need an update. I've lost my hair somewhere, and if anyone finds it, I would like it back. And I actually now run our APAC business, which is for me coming home because I'm originally from New Zealand, so it's lovely to be here. Every organization is consuming digital talent at a huge rate. And if you think, what are the 3 themes that we've talked about over the last 2 days? Data, AI, ML, structured, unstructured data, cloud, DevOps, stuff, security. Everybody wants them. The biggest organizations, the smallest organizations. We as a company, we specialize in being able to supply these, but there's two things that we challenge, or I'd like to challenge as a group. One, and on that theme of food, how much do you really need to eat? So when you're looking at the market and you're looking at what you need, what is your programmatical management like? What are your business analysts and what are your solution architects really saying what you need? And if you don't have that view, you're going to end up saying, I need a lot more than what I really need to consume. So when you look to partner, we will always challenge why. Why do you need that much resource? What are you trying to do? Help us understand. Maybe there's a better way of looking at it. Maybe you don't need 100 data scientists. Maybe you don't need 50 cloud people. Maybe you need a different mix. And we actually find a lot of the time when we allow people to question why, we find they need a lot less resource than they actually think. The second important thing, and again with the theme of food, is growing the ingredients, feeding. You can't just come to the market and expect to be able to pluck fruit ripe to eat. The bananas that we saw yesterday. Everyone wants the yellow bananas ready to eat. But you need to have a mix of green bananas to yellow bananas so that you're bringing people through. Not just in your own environment, as Luis was saying, but also in your vendor's environment. You create a growing partnership that says, hey, we understand the type of talent you like. We understand the type of talent you need. We understand how to work with you. We're going to challenge and grow with working with you. But let's keep that pool growing because there is definitely a finite pool of resources. And we need to keep growing them, bringing them in from the universities and growing them through. As a vendor, our duty of care, first and foremost, is our employees, is our associates. And happy associates make happy customers. And happy customers make happy associates, and we keep that development. So, we will promote, we will rotate, we will give people other experiences. And what we ask for is that within the boundaries that you're delivering, we're delivering what you need. That is the world that we need to deliver and to create and keep constant good resources being available for you.
That's a great analogy, I think in this time of instant food, instant noodle, instant everything, talent is not something that's instant unless you go out there and acquire a mature talent from outside the organization. So keeping that in mind, let's go back to Shui-Min. Shui-Min, with the rapid adoption of emerging technologies, where do you foresee we will have the greatest talent deficit in the next 1 to 2 years? In your own context as well as the context of the university.
I think now, many of us experience shortage in skill sets, like in areas like, cybersecurity, data analytics, virtualization, cloud. These are the, hot skill sets in demand. I think in 1 to 2 years, they will probably continue to be hot skill sets in demand. And in addition to that, personally, I think that then what would happen would be like in 1 to 2 years' time, we probably have 5G, across the entire island of Singapore. And many people would then realize that there is tremendous potential in 5G technology. And the skill sets related to 5G will be in hot demand by then. So you're talking about the, network engineering, and folks who can straddle between OT, IT, and IoT seamlessly, those will probably be in very high demand. And with improved network bandwidth and performance, and more data will be amassed, and again, then AI would flourish even more. But in all of these technical skill sets, well, I personally think that there is an area in the IT industry that we should really watch and groom skill sets that are related to UI and UX. I think that a lot of us are obsessed with technical merits of our solution when we forget about the user of the technology and the kind of experience we should really be delivering to the user. So in that area, I think in the industry, I think that there is a need to be more focused in grooming resources with UI and UX expertise.
Okay, thank you. I think as a commercial organization, DBS will face similar challenges, and I think you may or may not have time to, you will have a pipeline to mature talents, but you will also have immediate needs, right? How does DBS overcome these shortages, What solutions, what strategy do you use? How do you acquire these skills for your upcoming digital transformation projects?
So, definitely shortage is something that is in the back of our head, but at the same time, we also see that the right people is not necessarily attracted, and one of the problems that companies have today is, how do I make my company or our corporation attractive enough so that technical people can join us and feel that they can develop a technical profession inside, right? We've invested a lot of our times in programs internally in DBS that basically are fostering technical leaders and technical professionals to grow inside the company without, and once again, challenging the financial industry status quo of, you grow to become a manager and then you become a director. Well, there has to be a parallel career path for individuals that are pursuing, senior technical staff members, principal engineers, senior principal engineers, distinguished engineers, fellowship. And we've been working really, really hard to establish these programs within DBS so that individuals are motivated and challenged to pursue their own technical profession within our institution.
Okay, I see. Okay, so it's a clear career path that is to attract and as well as retain your talent, right?
Yes.
And nevertheless, I believe you will still have shortages even after acquisition, because you have very specific areas where you cannot wait. And I think I pose this question to John, because John's job is to come in and accelerate your transformation projects for companies and organizations. John, coming back to ingredients and chefs, as a partner, there's a limited amount of Michelin chefs, and everybody wants them. The truth is, as a solution partner, you carry many of these chefs, right? So to supplement the customer. So tell me, John, how can you think IT teams can re-engineer their partnership models with tech partners, offshore development teams, and strategic consultants like yourself to get the most out of the talent pool so that they can really power their projects?
So the first thing is understanding what is core for you and where you have your skill sets and having a realistic view. And then looking at where you partner. And just a point of reference, the most important thing in partnership as you move to a digital world is ownership of IP. So make sure you clearly are aware the IP that you want to be created for you and you own, and the IP that you're willing to share. We as a partner, we don't own IP, we create IP for you. And that's a model that works well for us. Two things. One, embrace youth.
Embrace youth.
Embrace youth. And to Luis's point, embrace skill sets from other industries. They can challenge, they can bring thought. We have a large apprenticeship program, and we see companies grab these apprentices and accelerate them through because they see these great talents jumping up. It's not just long-term experience. The other thing is challenge your commercial model. most people in this room, the first question they'll ask for is, what is your rate card? What we want to know is, what outcome are you trying to deliver? What outcome can we deliver for you? And it's generally a procurement relationship that says it needs to be a one resource to a one cost. What about looking at an SLA model or an outcome-based model and challenging your partners to say, how would you deliver this? You guys are a technology company. You guys do this for other people. How would you do it? And then make the commercial relationship about an outcome or an SLA so that it's not just a static rate card. It makes us work harder for you. It puts responsibility on our shoulders. But it also allows us to be initiative and bring different angles in how we will deliver for you. So that would be the two. Embrace the youth and challenge your current commercial models. Don't just ask for a rate card.
Okay. Shui-Min, any 30 seconds single liner that you would like to deliver? One sentence, the most important thing on talent and on how to develop them.
I think it's to use creative means, to develop talent. It can be simple things. It can be just learning. It can be experimentation. It can be partnership. I think it's various avenues, and we should always be creative in our approaches.
Okay. Same question to you, Luis.
I would say be open. Partnerships work great if they're used in the right way. Be open for deep down expertise from cross industries, cross markets, and really look internally inside and see if how we're running things today is attractive enough to attract the talent and make them want to work for us.
Okay.
I think if you...
John, advice you will give to companies?
Challenge the norms. Challenge, do you really need that structure of the team that you're asking for? Is it the right structure? Do you have the right partnerships? And are you using those partnerships the right way? Are you challenging your partners to work harder for you? Or are you just looking at the same prism, the same engagement?
Okay. Now, in closing, I would like to say, that we've heard from the panels from institution who generates talent, from a commercial entity who acquires them as well as develops them, and of course a partner who does both, as well as support the organizations out there in the commercial area to drive digital technology. Now, if you remember, we go back to the first day. In the keynote address, Shireen Hamid had one key takeaway. She said invest in technologies, but she also said invest in people, right? Because there's no better time and there is no better strategy. Your DT cannot wait. If you need to address the shortage, it is now. And you need to use creative means, innovation, as well as partners if you're going to drive and power this through. Now with that, I'd like to thank the panel for sharing their insights.
Thank you very much. We invite you to take your seats at your table. Can we give the panel another big round of applause, please, ladies and gentlemen? Great job.